What it do? Lifeline presents bring to you Game by Lifeline. I'm your host, Lifeline. We got Jerome in the building from Truth for Trillions. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Murph Dog?
All right, all right, all right. We'll get right to it, man. I know Jerome for 30 years. We met in the Army in 93, 92. So we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna get right to it. With Relationship Game, we got three questions. And I'm gonna show it to you on the screen. We have two blue questions and we have a yellow question. So you tell me which blue you want to do. We're gonna do a blue, yellow, blue. So which
All right,
blue you want to do? This one or this one?
that one.
This one?
No, the other one.
Okay, okay, okay.
Right, right.
Now this is a my mate card, blue card question. Emotional, emotional damage. Someone who suffers psychological harm due to drama in their past. Is that a must, B, preferred, C, conversation, D, a deal breaker? Answer, then explain why you chose that answer. This is a good one right here. Emotional damage.
Emotional damage is definitely a conversation. Um, if you feel like your mate is emotionally damaged, number one, I think that's something that you probably want to figure that out or find that out before she become your mate. I think that's huge because I mean, if the question is if I'm looking at the question from the standpoint of do I am I already with this person? If I'm already with this person, I discover that she is emotionally damaged, and we definitely need to have a conversation about the direction of um where we want the relationship to go because somebody that's emotionally damaged could definitely destroy, it could taint, it could it's so much there's so many negative things that can come from someone that's emotionally damaged, and that's even from yourself. Like you can be emotionally damaged and not know it and have those types of things brought out by somebody else's trauma or drama. Because what happens is people who have the same type of I want to say the same type of issues are attracted. So if you meet somebody, the premises and basis on your relationship because could be from toxic shit. You understand what I'm saying? So if I meet somebody and I'm at a bad point in my life because of the emotional damage, and so is she, that could draw you together. And then what happens is when one person grows beyond that, they start to see and look back and say, wow, I've been in this relationship with somebody, and the only thing that we've had in common was this dysfunction. So you definitely, you want to make sure that you have that conversation because you want if somebody is emotionally damaged, that could be potentially harmful for so many different people. So, you got to figure out, are we going to try to fix this? Are we going to try to resolve it? Where did it come from? And if it's too much to overcome, then you gotta let that go. Because, I'm just saying from my point of view at 50 years old, I ain't got time to be dealing with no emotionally. If my wife was emotionally damaged and we ain't figured that shit out by now, then it's kind of like one of those things where do you really want to go down that road? But that's something that you would want to recognize very early because you don't want to get caught up in a relationship with somebody and then you figure this stuff out or you trying to figure out what's wrong, and you got one layer of the onion, two layers of the onion. You just keep pulling shit off and it just ain't getting no better. So you definitely need to figure that out at the beginning and deal with it or move past it.
Nah, I feel you, bro. I feel you. And I feel the same way. It's a conversation and it's a C getting close to D.
Right.
Because I believe we all have things that we struggle with from our past, and some things we've been able to get past. But I feel like when you're in a relationship, depending on how damaged the person is, because we all have things that we struggle with, but when what we struggle with make us jeopardize the relationship, then things get different.
But some things you
Well,
can overcome though.
yeah.
Some things.
Hold on, bro. Let me finish. Let me
Oh,
finish
my
my
bad, my bad.
finish my thought.
My bad.
So when we have situations like that, we got to get through and have the conversation, listen to them, make sure that whatever they battling with they got to understand is they battle. You can support them for their battle, but you can't fix their battle.
Right.
So therefore, you can support them, and as long as their struggle, whatever they damage with, They recognize they get the help that they need, and they don't let that destroy the relationship. Then we could continue. But if it start destroying the relationship, it's definitely gonna be a deal breaker with me.
Well, it's also the degree of it, though. You understand what I'm saying? Like we when I mean, there's a very very broad range of what you said emotionally damaged. Like that could be anything. Like you know what could be emotionally damaging for you might not be a factor or a problem for somebody else. So I think that the degree of which that person is dealing with whatever they're dealing with is also important because certain things at certain levels don't always have to be relationship ending. And then some things are just not tolerable. You know what I mean?
I got you, bro. I got you. So now we go to the blank and white question. It's the yellow card.
Blank and white question, y'all. It's the yellow card.
All right. I least prefer out of these choices and why. A, selfish. B, petty. C, closed-minded. Or D, no ambition. That's A, selfish. B, petty. C, closed-minded. Or D, no ambition. Answer, then explain why you chose that answer.
Closed-minded. Closed-minded. I got listen, a closed-minded person is, I think, one of the worst type of people you can ever be around because it's tunnel vision. Like it's like there's no growth. If you're closed-minded, you can't grow. You can't learn. You can't see anything differently. Basically, a closed-minded person is looking at things from one point of view, one perspective. And they're like if you got your hand closed, you can't receive anything. If your hand is closed and your mind is closed off to anything and anybody that you're around, you receive nothing. So at the point in time in which you stopped allowing yourself to be open, that is where your growth stops. If you stop allowing people in, or if you stop allowing any information, if you stop allowing any situation, if you stop allowing anything to come into your I want to say realm of knowledge or wisdom or anything like that, then that's where your growth stops. If you stop that in high school, then your knowledge is about a 12th grade education as far as anything that you deal with, because you are not receiving anything that the world has to offer. So and that's the worst thing. If you open minded, you can teach a person that's open minded anything. You can at least you have some type of hope if they're willing to listen and willing to acknowledge. But if you close minded, all those other categories that you just read off don't mean shit. If you close minded, you're not receiving anything.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't want to answer the same one with you, but I would have said closed-minded too. But I'm gonna give a
That's why we
different,
boys.
yeah, I'm gonna give a different approach because just because I want to just be we here on camera. I don't want to say I agree and just
Right, right.
roll on, but I'll pick closed-minded, but I'm gonna answer with be petty. And I need somebody with ambition. I don't like selfish people either. But I
Right.
think a petty person could be dangerous.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah,
petty person could be dangerous, and depending on how petty you be,
yeah,
you could put a lot of people at harm's way,
yeah, yeah,
depending on how
yeah.
petty you is. And I always say, like,
Petty can go
who
in a
don't
lot of
know
different directions.
the story of Samson in the Bible. I always like petty to me because I'm a petty person at times. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna kill
I know.
everybody with my pettiness. But Samson in the Bible, when he was tied up and he was on the pillars, he asked God for one little vengeance, you know? And when God gave him strength, he pushed the pillars to kill everybody in there and himself.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes that's when petty go too far.
yeah, yeah,
If your pettiness destroys you and other people, so with petty people, I kind of be, once I start seeing a little petty, I try to see how far they would go because I
yeah,
might be petty to prove a point, but I'm
yeah,
gonna be petty to destroy the relationship.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right. All
That's
right.
that's true. That's true enough. True enough. Fair that.
All right. But
Fair
I
game. Fair
definitely would
game.
have picked closed minded. I need
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
we can have a conversation with.
Like when you like this and you just can't talk to somebody, that's just like, ugh. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Get out. You know,
that's a
get
fact.
out.
It's the last card. It's a blue card right here. My
Uh-oh.
good sex. Someone who is experienced sexually. Is it a must? B, preferred? C, conversation? Or D, a deal breaker? Answer, then explain why you chose that answer.
Me my options again.
All Okay.
Give
Is
me
it a must? B preferred.
it's
C
preferred. It's
okay.
preferred. It's preferred. It's not a must. Like it used to be a must. Uh as an older person, sex don't have the same, it doesn't rank amongst the top three anymore. Well, it does. It's in the top three, but it ain't number one. Back in the day, sex was it all, baby. Sex was number one. If you ain't doing this and doing that, we ain't getting down like this so many times a day. Nah, you gotta go. But as I've gotten older, it's not has nothing to do with my performance. Let me tell you that. But as I've gotten older, as I've gotten older, I've recognized that sex is not the most important thing in a relationship anymore. Really, it's just about being happy. So sex falls into the, I want to say, it's in the top five, but at this point, uh happiness falls first. Happiness and financial stability, those go hand in hand. And so yeah, it's in the top, it's in the top five, but it just depends on how I'm feeling that day. Sometimes that shit might drop down to four. If it's payday, it's dropping to five. If it's time if it's time if it's time for me to check my account, sex is down at number three or four. You know what I'm saying? But when things change and everything chill, then I might wake up one morning and now I'm ready. But it's not in the top. It's not in the top three no more. Just simply because as you get older, you recognize that being compatible, being happy, being with somebody who you ain't got to argue with, loyalty, trust, all that shit come over sex because you can bust a nut, you can do that by yourself, but and then afterwards you sitting there looking stupid if you got somebody who you can't trust or who you can't, what I'm saying? So being that is you know, in the top five, it should be acceptable. But like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with my performance. It's just that when you get older, you get wiser and your priorities change. And being happy and with somebody who you can be with on a regular basis that you don't got to argue with and that you trust and that you love and that you built something with outweighs the sex. And most of the time, it just kind of balance out. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that's just the way I see it.
Okay, okay, I got you. So yours is preferred. And to be
Uh-oh.
honest with
I'm curious
you,
to hear what you're gonna say about this one.
nah, brother, it's a must. And because it's levels to it. And I didn't say great sex. I didn't say amazing sex. I said good sex. So to me, it has to be good enough that I don't desire it from somewhere else.
Okay.
To be realistic with myself. I'm 50 just like you, and sex ain't a priority.
Right.
But if I'm a go to work, it's gonna be worth the work. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to work to be playing around. So if we gonna get in the bed and get naked and do the nasty, it gotta be good enough that I'm satisfied with what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat, like when I grew up, I ate oodles and noodles. I will not eat a pack now. I mean, like eating ain't just eating when it comes to me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, it is
So
what it
so if
is.
I'm gonna eat, it's gonna be a good meal,
You
worth
want a good
something.
meal.
Cause like you said, it ain't a priority. I got other aspects in my life, goals and things that I'm doing and things I'm taking care of. I got grandchildren, so there's a lot of things that has a bigger priority. But when it's time for me to do that, I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I
You know?
understand.
But that's
I,
what's
I
up, man.
do
That's the three
understand.
questions. That's the three questions right there. We doing an open dialogue. We got a new segment going on. So I'm gonna ask Lisa a question. We'll chime in on it. And this is one that I've been thought about for a few years. Logic over love.
Hold
And
on, hold on. Oh shit! Did I just? Oh snap! Did I stop it? I
I don't
pushed
know
my
what you
mouse by
said.
accident.
I can see you.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we go. Hold on. I'm doing it. Okay.
this, this is
Hey man,
live.
don't laugh.
It's
Okay,
live.
go ahead. I'm ready.
Let me do a commercial real quick. uh Relationship game at lifelinepresents.com. You go get your own since you taking a sneeze, blow your nose break.
Whatever.
We're gonna get it going. But
Okay, we're ready. I'm
all
back.
right.
Sorry about that, people.
Good, you good. This is but the
I
sad thing
just
about it, with this process that I'm doing here with these different podcasts and things, I'm the editor, I'm everything. So
Okay.
everything that's said is done and is cut is in the show.
That's all good.
I
I
just
ain't
think
doing
you
shit.
editing
Yeah.
stuff and doing stuff. We
Yeah.
running it. We running. You all right, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm straight.
All
Let's do
right.
it.
Now we get back to logic over love.
Okay.
When you in your relationships, how often do you practice logic over love in your relationships?
Man, that's a good question because I- logic all the time. I don't I think logic always outweighs everything for me. And I think that's most men. I think most men like to have all the information in front of them to make a decision. So logically, that's how I think a man's brain, that's how my brain works. I like
Mhm.
that, like logic all the time. And I feel like the love part is always there, but it's like logic always seems to just take over. It's almost like an automatic thing for me. You understand what I'm saying? Like I love somebody all the time, and I'm always gonna love you, but logic is just like what drives you. It's like that's what you get up in the morning for. You understand what I'm saying? It's like when I wake up in the morning, it's like what do I have to do? And I'm already strategically putting things in order as far as what I need to do and how I need to do it. So I just kind of feel like logic. I always think logically about everything. It doesn't even I don't even I wouldn't even say it would compute to do it any other way because love is always there. Like you know what I'm saying. But I always jump and make a decision based on what I think makes sense.
Okay, I got you, brother, and I'm with you too. You know, typically I put logic over love on maybe 80% of my decisions.
Yep, I
You
agree.
know, and I'm gonna break it down for the people that's listening. And what I mean, logic over love is like your family, your uncle that you love, you know, even
Right,
though it's a mate relationship, your uncle that you love, he's a crackhead.
right.
He's a he's
We all have
battling
one.
with drugs.
We all have one. Yeah.
Now he asks you, nephew, I get $20. You know you got your wallet somewhere hidden because he's around. You're not gonna tell him go get your wallet because you're busy.
Exactly.
Because you love him to death, but logically, that's not a smart decision.
Exactly.
And that's what we have to do in relationships with everyone. But at times, you know, depending if she got me whipped, if I'm so in love with her or whatever, sometimes we'll compromise the logic for.
Yeah.
But I feel like basically,
Used to, I think.
I
The
I,
younger us.
I
The
don't know,
younger.
bro. I don't know. I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a female making 150 grand. And I'm being honest. I'm being honest. And that mouth and that and everything is just out of this world. And that's the funny thing. Let me hurry up quick. Let me get to this real quick. But that's the funny thing about me when I said that's why the sex just has to be good.
But
Because my oldest brother said this years ago. He said, I don't want the best sex I've ever had. And the reason being because we make decisions over that because it becomes like that high you never had before. Go
but the
ahead, bro.
thing
I see you brewing.
Whoa, but here's the thing. If you have that, if you do have that, like every scenario that you just said, that gets old. Like it doesn't always
Huh?
like you said, if you got somebody making all this money and they do all of this, okay, yeah, but it gets old. It won't last. And that's why like you might have a situation where yeah it starts out that way and they got all these qualities and all this but it don't last and I'm not saying I can give you an example personally and I'm not saying that I took it that far as but I was around some very very wealthy people. I'm talking about millionaires recently and I thought exactly that. I thought that, that if I was around certain people or if I was with a person like that, and what I recognize is that those people are nothing but shells. When you think that you would feel a certain way and you feel like that love would take over and it would make you, that's why I say as an older person, those types of things don't they don't move me like they used to because when you have certain experiences where you do have a situation like that and you go through it then you can say you know what it's not always cracked up to me and so like I said I've been around some very wealthy people and I'm going to say this in all honesty, I thought about what if I was with a person like that. What like I could easily see how that woman would a lesser man or a man that wasn't put together or wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? A man that wasn't secure within himself to where he would fall for that, then I could easily see. I seen it happen. I seen some cats fall for her for this chick who had all this money. And I was just like, oh, like really, bro? Like you gonna let you gonna play yourself out and you gonna compromise certain things about your character and your integrity for that? That's why I say I couldn't do it because when I looked at it and I just saw how empty those individuals were after that, I was just like, nah, you can't get me on that level. But anyway, that's a personal experience that you know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
but
Like,
that's what this show is about, man. I like to
yeah,
hear stuff like that because
yeah,
somebody's going through that or somebody's thinking about that.
yeah.
You know, and so
Don't let like I literally had this woman who was trying to buy me. She was trying to buy me, and I was just like, you can't buy me. You can attempt to and you can tease and you can entice and you can do all these things, but at the end of the day, I'm going home. You can't, we friends. You can't, that don't, I'm sorry. Like, and so that's just what it is. And it's like, some people with money feel like they have the ability to do that. They feel like they feel like they can dangle the money over your head and it puts you in a situation where you forget all your principles and your integrity and your character. But not me, buddy. I'm like, I mean, maybe a younger me would have fell for that, but I'm sorry. I gotta go.
I got you, bro. I got you. You went deep with that one, so I ain't gonna go too deep with that
It's
one.
all good.
But I get it. I get what you're saying because
Yeah.
I've been in spaces like that as well, and I've been the person. And the funny thing, I've been the person with the money
Right.
that compromise people to
Right.
be in your space.
Right.
I've been the person who was lesser and was dealing with a person who had more money. So
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, even when the bank accounts is when the bank is closed on Sunday, you still got to have morals and respect for the person you're dealing with.
Correct.
And therefore, when it comes to the buying, but let's get to this one. This one's gonna be a good one.
Uh-oh.
Women, yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the notes right here.
Damn, that was damn, that was
Nah, bro. I mean, we've been trying to link up for a minute, so
oh,
we're
for
gonna
sure.
take
Let's
this
do
right
it.
here
I'm
where it's
ready.
at.
I'm with you.
Now we gonna this is gonna be an ill one right here because two men right here. We both 50 years old, you know.
We don't look it though.
So
Oh,
we up on a because I feel like there's levels to the building. We on the 50th floor, so we seen a lot. We done
seen a
came to
lot.
a lot of floors. So why do people cheat?
Maybe different reasons. I
Okay.
mean, I just, number one, that starts with just not being happy with themselves. If you're not happy with what you got going on, and you'll find any excuse or any reason to um to go out and get what you need from someplace else. And a lot of times that's just that also you're not getting what you need where you at. Um it could be sexually, it could be emotionally, it could be financially, it could be all those different things. Like when you're not happy where you are at your I guess you could call it your castle or your home, then you're gonna find a way or you're gonna find a resource to be able to go get what you need or what you think you need. I think that's a better explanation. You know, a lot
Mhm.
of times you go out and you do stuff like that, and you feel horrible or shitty after. You have to look yourself in the mirror after you do shit like that, especially if you've been with somebody for a while. But it's really just all about your desire, what you feel like you need to have at that moment. And I think that's just people being unhappy. If you're not getting, if you're not getting that if you're not getting certain things, if you're not getting certain things like you think you should get, you'll cheat. If you watching porn 30 times a day and you got this expectation that that's what reality is, you'll go figure that you'll find that out someplace else. If you're not, I mean, so many different reasons why people cheat. I mean, at the end of the day, I just kind of feel like it's probably because they feel like it's something that they're missing or something that they feel like they could get someplace else better.
Hey, I love that answer. And I love how you started when you said is something within themselves. And the funny thing about I did a survey a few years ago, right? And I asked people, men and women, over 50 on each side, why do they cheat this, that, and the other? And the bottom line that I came with after I read all the answers and took all of the smoothing over and this, that, and other, people cheat because to me, because sex is one of the best things you could do besides eating and sleeping. I mean, just think about it. Like, if you could eat,
Eating
sleep,
and
and have
sleeping.
sex, you would do. I don't know which three you would do, and
Eating and
then
sleeping.
and then be real with you.
Oh,
Every person you have sex with, it's like
oh,
having
these life hacks.
the best things you could do, but with somebody different, and it be's different. Because
Right,
when we put I'm unhappy, I'm this, I'm that, or my mate lacks this, or we argue this, that, other. I say, stop. Let's be accountable
right.
because our children ain't what we want them to be, but we don't leave our children to go get some other children. So why would we
I would.
so we like, oh, my daughter acting up. I'm about to see if I can pick up a daughter and take her to the mall or
Exchange
something.
her ass out. Can I
No,
get
so
a
so so
refund?
we got to be accountable. And I know every time I cheated, it was because I had issues with myself and because I liked having sex. And I knew if I was attracted, I had issues where I wanted to see, like I could look at certain women when I was younger and see in my mind or think in my mind, I want to know how it would be to have sex with them.
Exactly. Expectations.
Yeah.
It's got a lot to do with expectations when you and that's and with guys we visual guys are visual we are we operate and we navigate things based on what we see. That
Hmm.
fat ass, that this, and then you start to, like you said, project it. I wonder what it looked like to have her bent over this. I wonder what she look like with that on, and that thought creates that momentum to where you start acting. The second you think that, and you have the ability, you have the visuality of it and the ability. So if you can visually think that and you feel like you got the ability to make it happen, that's when it all starts. And every man that cheats does that. It's a visual thing, and then they think, is it possible? And if it's possible, they act on it.
Okay, I got you. I got you. I got you.
You don't
So
think so?
now I believe I know so,
Yeah.
bro. I
I know.
like I fight
I'll
with
just ask you.
myself. I fight with myself, and one of my homeboys, Norris, we had talked about praying the desire of that sexual desire away. And I didn't really want to pray it away, but I had to at certain times just to get that lust out of me because I was looking at attractive women with the lustful eyes of not just embracing their beauty, but like you said, visualizing how it would be or what could I do with them. And I had to pray that away. And it took a while to get that. And what I learned, and I had to stop putting myself in certain atmospheres because no matter how long we think our penis is, right? You know, we can't have sex with somebody that's not in the same room with us.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So I
I
learned,
don't even
yeah. So I learned how to stop putting myself in the same rooms with tempting situations.
I don't even look at it that way. I don't even try to resist it because it ain't never gonna stop. I'm always gonna look and see a fat ass and like it. I mean, I embrace it. I don't try to not deal with that because that's just part of being a man. And that's what a lot I think that a lot of men's problem is they try to totally like I'll give you an example. You got people who go to church, right? You got some people who go to church, and like this was us at one point. We went to church and we became these. I don't want to say Bible thumpers, but we went to church and we did it to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big mistake. I think that if I see a chick with a fat ass, I'm always gonna look and think it. I ain't saying I gotta act on it, but if I try to tell myself that don't look over there, keep your hair straight, don't think about it, that's creating more. That's worse than just going looking at it. Damn, that's a fat ass, man. Woo, and keep on moving. Because when you start, and that's just the way I do it because I kind of feel like why try to change something that is as a man always gonna be, no matter how old we get, whether we 50, 60, 70, 80, we see a chick with a fat ass bend over, we gonna look and we gonna, and that thought. It's gonna be there. I don't care what you say. So I ain't trying to pray it away. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna look. I'm damn, and then I'm gonna turn my head on about my business
Nah,
because I have the control. I didn't used to have the control where I wouldn't attempt to act on it. I mean, I've cheated before, and it was for multiple different
hold
reasons.
on, hold on. You jumping, you
Oh,
jumping,
oh, my
you
bad,
jumping.
my
We're
bad.
gonna end this.
Shoot.
I'm gonna cut you off because I'm going by what you said because you've been doing podcasts longer than me. You
For
said
sure,
7 minutes, so that
sure,
was a
sure. My bad.
7 minute mark.
Okay,
But what you just said is for the next question. All right.
sure, sure. Go ahead.
Have you ever cheated
Oh yeah,
and why?
oh yeah. Uh, because the answer is yes, and because multiple different reasons. I've done it multiple times. I'm not saying with, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying throughout my life, yeah, because number one, I've always felt like I could get certain things done better, or I've always I wanted to know, like you said earlier, I wanted to know what it looked like. I wanted to see a naked ass. I wanted to see what her titties looked like. I wanted to see what she looked like. You know, all those reasons, and none of those none of those, and then sometimes it was just because I could. Sometimes it was just because somebody was flirting with me, and they wanted me. I didn't even back when I was younger. Some women I didn't even want. They wanted me. Okay, it was easy. And that's why. A lot of times for me, it was easy, so I did it. But I'm not saying that's the old me. Of course, don't. That's not.
Yeah,
I'm
hey,
dead serious though. I'm dead serious. That's the old me. But a lot of times, honestly, Murph, like when we was in the military, I don't really consider that cheating, but that's kind of like where it started. It started when I was single, and a lot of times I did it just because I could.
yeah,
'Cause I could. I
and
did it
with
because I
me,
could, and I did it because the other person was on board with, how it was being, and thought it was cool, and you know what I'm saying. So a lot of times I did it just because I could, and the other person was willing to do it. I mean,
yeah,
well,
I'm I feel the same, and I believe that when I was younger, I cheated because I could, and the funny thing, I cheated because what you even said, because a lot of times, like people think that I'm the pursuer. People think that I go out here to conquer.
right.
No, when you put the ball in my court, I'm dunking. So my thing back in the days was if you line it up, I'll knock it down. It's like bowling. If you line them up, I know how to hit a strike. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, if you come in my
We
vicinity,
are athletes. We are athletes.
yeah, exactly. So if you come
We
in
know
my
how to
vicinity
win.
like you want this, you gonna get this. When I was younger, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't like to try to pursue and make somebody like me.
No, no, I ain't got time for that. That's too
So
long.
so I know how to pick up when somebody like me. And I know
Yep.
how. I'm ashamed of, like I tell my children today, even my daughter. Me and my daughter have the best relationship. I tell my daughter like how bad her dad was, how bad I cheated, how bad things I done. Even when I was with her mother, like I did a lot of things that wasn't right, and I apologize to some, and some of them deserved it, you know. But but I'm being honest with you, some of them deserved it. No, they ain't really deserved
How does somebody deserve being cheated on, Murph? Explain that shit.
it. See, that's for another show. Nah. And when I say that, is like they did hurtful stuff as well.
So you
So we
felt
was
like
in a
cheating
we was
on
in
them
a
got them back?
relationship. We was in a relationship where we wasn't treating each other the best.
Okay.
So therefore, when I did, like, they didn't really deserve to level I did. 'Cause I don't know what they really did, But I know the
But you
way,
felt like that was a get back.
yeah, the way we was punching each other in the relationship.
Yeah.
I felt like this was no different from the other. And then sometimes they didn't even know anyway. So it really wasn't hurtful, but it made me feel better. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
I got
saying?
you. Yeah.
Because I'm enduring this, and for the children or whatever we got going on,
So it was a coping mechanism, so to speak.
yeah. See, like now it's different because
Right.
of course the children is grown, and now you deal
It's a
with
choice.
individual. So even the cheating and stuff, since 2012, I think I changed my life So I'm on like 12 years of operating with one woman type of situation.
Okay.
I didn't always cheat all the time, but I had them pockets where I might
If
be straight for
if it,
six
yeah,
months.
yeah, you spurts. If
What?
the opportunity presented itself, you kind of a pocket for her, a little side piece over here for 3 months, and then 6 months go by, and then another.
So that was just the whole thing. So, but with the cheating thing, I think a lot of people, they be honest with themselves.
Yeah,
When you blame your mate, like you never heard me say that.
right,
I might have I might have said they deserved it because I didn't
right,
feel no kind of way.
right.
It didn't make me cheat. I was the
But
cheater. That's why I did what I did.
I don't think either one of us throughout this whole interview has said anything other than than yourself. It all starts here.
Yeah.
Whether you decide to change, whether you don't, as men, we have to start taking some accountability for what we do. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Who we all got baggage. We all got a past. We all got history. So some worse than others, some more visual. Some people you see their scars and their wounds, some you don't. So there's nothing wrong with standing up and saying, "Hey, I did this." Just like you said, you had a conversation with your daughter, and I think that's where the healing and the growth come from. When you have the ability to where you can share things, like I used to do drugs all the time. So it's like when you have the ability where you can talk about that kind of stuff and you hold yourself accountable, that's when you can truly tell that somebody has grown and they've matured and moved past some of those things. Because some of the shit that I used to do, I couldn't even talk about it. I couldn't tell nobody years ago I used to be a drug addict. I could never used to say that shit out loud. You know what I'm saying? But now, I mean, I'm at a point in my life again where I don't give a fuck. I died 4 years ago, so it's like I'm me. You're gonna love me or hate me. Do what you do, but I'm not gonna feel ashamed for being honest about why I did some of the things that I did as a man, and I'm not gonna feel like I can't talk about it because every single person that's watching this show, every single person that's listening, got some type of baggage or some kind of scar that they either dealing with or have dealt with, and you only you're doing other people a service if you can express that and explain it and share your story because some people feel so overwhelmed by that. So you'll never hear either one of us take any kind of back road to what we've done or how we feel. And I think that's the reason why we've been friends for so long because we always been 100 with each other. So what I'm saying, we never had no issues. So I think that's important for people. So what I'm saying, we'll never say it's somebody else's fault before we take responsibility for what we do first.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I think that's a part of being a man, and that's why I'm gonna go try to get some footage when my sons lived with me. Both my kids moved me. I think it was like 8 or 9 years old, or 9 or 10 years old, and that was one of the things I was talking about, just being accountable and being a man. Even though they was young boys, I said this: y'all moving with me is the best thing that ever happened to me. But it's gonna help you. I'm gonna help y'all go from boys to men.
Yeah,
And that was the whole thing. But we're gonna end the show. We did a good show. I appreciate you. But
for
what I'm
sure.
gonna do, I'm gonna give you the air to say what you want to say. You can put your drops where they can find you at, where they could
Oh, for sure.
see your podcast, whatever, and just say what you're gonna say. I'm gonna close the show out. It's a good show, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Murph Dog. Hey, my guy Murph Dog at Lifeline Presents got me on the show. It is Jerome Leaks. My podcast is called Truth Worth Trillions. You can find it on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We have a protein that's called not a protein. I'm sorry, a pre-workout called Fit Code. So you can also look at my co-host on my podcast. I have a co-host named Sean Frank Levy, and you can find our pre-workout called the Fit Code at on Amazon. You can purchase it. We got some more flavors coming out soon, but look for more podcasts coming from Truth Worth Trillions here in the future. I want to send a shout out to my man Murph again, and Amy Leaks at Live Oak Tees and Gifts, where you can find all kinds of fantastic merchandise, some of which you'll see on Steve's set coming up soon. So appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for having me on. It's wonderful. I'm finna go get ready to watch this Chiefs game. Give me a drink and give me something to eat.
All right, so let me say this. Let me say this. Well, you know, I'm your host, Lifeline. Lifeline presents. We on YouTube, and we got this podcast, Game by Lifeline, on YouTube. We got on Apple Podcasts, and then we got another podcast, a sports podcast called Goat Metrics. It's on Apple Podcasts and it's on YouTube. So just check us out. Until next time, Leaks, hold it down, bro.
I'll see you later, Mark.